Guys, we got massive good news from the CEO himself. 9 massive updates, each one of these as important as the other ones, where you guys get to know about the future of the company going forward. This was, of course, one of those CEO to user meetings where they talk to customers and NIO owners about the progress of the company. And of course, investors need to know this as well. But first, make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so that you get the latest in terms of NIO's news, the good and the bad. But of course, in this video, this is excellent good news. So without further ado, let's go over the 9 different points that the NIO CEO talked about, updated us about. Number 1 is, of course, Onvo will increase store opening and sales network. They're going to prioritize in opening more stores and doing live broadcast, expanding the sales strength of the Onvo brand. Of course, that's number 1. Number 2, they are actually changing the sales method for NIO here in China. And there's going to be less competition between sales reps. Before, people would use the Instagram of China, Little Red Book, to essentially advertise to get people from different cities to buy a NIO. And of course, sales rep from like one city could sell a car to a customer in another city. But that would kind of be unfair to the sales reps in that city. So they're sort of rehauling the whole entire sales method. So there's less competition between sales reps, so it's going to be more fair, which is very nice. Number 3, this is very juicy. They actually earned some money. Did I hear that right? They actually earned some money. Guys, profit? What? How? Huh? Okay, the CEO said they earned some money, but just a small amount, all right? Just a small amount. And they're actually targeting a small amount at first, and then gradually they're going to be earning more money. But hey, you heard it from the CEO. He said they earned some money. Very interesting. It shows that all the things that they're doing they're sort of paying off, right? Very, very nice. That's good. All right. So we'll have to take his word for it. They earned some money. So future new earnings could show a very significant surprise that most people that aren't watching my video won't know about. All right. But you guys do know about this. So CEO said they earned some money. Number 4, NIO will prioritize margin first over sales numbers, okay? And then they will prioritize on doing what's right and try to maintain that higher status symbol, all right? And so that means, of course, not focusing so much on incentives and stuff like that. Number 5, this one is very interesting, okay? This one's going to raise some eyebrows. The ET9 begins production, but there is a chip supply bottleneck. Oh, you know, the ET9 comes with 2 of NIO's own NX chip, which is the God brain chip, or you can call it God muscle, 4 times stronger than the Orin X chip from NVIDIA. It's a very powerful self-developed chip, but of course, they're bottlenecked by that. But of course, the ET9, you're not expecting it to deliver a whole lot of vehicles because that car is very expensive. But still, hopefully they resolve this bottleneck. But hey, at least you guys know what's going on, right? And then what's very interesting is he added that R&D, using R&D for margin is paying off, okay? So they spend a lot of money on R&D every single quarter. Of course, the goal is to improve margins in the long term, and he said it's paying off, and especially it's evident on Onvo vehicles where they have actually very juicy margins on Onvo vehicles, according to the CEO. And then next year, there's going to be a heavyweight vehicle, all right, a heavyweight contender vehicle that's going to show up from the NIO brand, NIO Group, and it's going to be an MPV. Wow, very, very interesting. A lot of people have been dying for MPV here in China, asking NIO to make an MPV, and I think they're finally going to deliver that. Number 6, there's going to be a big shift in the product mix, okay? There's going to be, next year, starting in 2025, there's going to be executive cars, a big emphasis on executive cars and family cars. And the whole strategy will be, Onvo will be focused on sales numbers, deliveries. They're going to try to sell as many cars as they can with the Onvo brand, and that's going to be fully competing in the price war. And NIO will retreat from the price war and not participate in the price war. And I repeat that once again, NIO is exiting the price war, meaning NIO will not make the cars more cheap just to get more sales. Okay, they are prioritizing on margin, and they are going to make their cars more expensive. You want a cheaper car, you buy Envo. You want a cheaper car than that, you buy Firefly. You want a all-out baller vehicle, luxurious, you buy a NIO. So that's the whole strategy going forward. NIO is going to be on margin. And then in terms of where they're putting their sales effort on, full throttle in China. All right, they're full throttle, full strength in China, and they are pausing Europe. And I repeat that, they're pausing in Europe, which makes sense because they have that tariff in Europe. It doesn't really make sense to try to sell more in Europe. Number 7, this is very, very juicy, all right? So the Firefly is going to be the BMW Mini competitor, the Firefly car. And this, the CEO said, is going to be a global car that's going to be sold all over the world. Now, what's really interesting is that he said that they are actually going to outsource production for this car in some of those global markets, meaning maybe there's a factory there and they will outsource production to that factory to make that car locally in that area so that they can avoid those shipping fees and tariffs and all that kind of stuff. So this is a very interesting strategy. So they will be partnering up to outsource production. And then, of course, the Firefly car has its own individual swap station. It's smaller swap station, all right? It can't use NIO's current swap stations because those are too big for the Firefly cars. But this swap station will be significantly cheaper than NIO swap stations. More than half, all right? More than half off compared to a NIO swap station. About 1 million RMB, which is roughly around 150,000 US dollars per swap station. And you're going to be able to deploy a lot of these swap stations everywhere. And the Firefly car will be extremely, extremely safe, designed with 5-star Euro NCAP safety standards. So that's very, very good. Number 8, Abu Dhabi will have its first NIO house by the end of this month in November. So of course, they've already started showing off the cars there. It's getting very good reception. People are seeing the car. They love the design. They love the sporty look of the ET5. They love the very big, luxurious spaciousness of the ES8. They think this is a very, elegant, luxurious car suitable for those high-end needs of those posh customers in the UAE. So very nice that they're going to have a NIO house in there by the end of this month. Number 9, finally, we got an update on the NIO Phone. So NIO Phone, some people think it's very, insignificant. You don't really need a NIO Phone. But the CEO said NIO Phone is going to shift to a 2-year cycle, which I think is a very good news. So they don't have to spend every year redesigning a phone. And 2-year cycle, it just means that 2 years it's going to have a redesign, and then every 1 year there's going to be a minor update. So next year they're going to have a sort of like an updated version of the phone where it's the same look but probably a different processor chip, the newer processor chip. So that's going to save them on quite a lot of R&D. So you maintain a lot of the functionalities and you're going to get more functionalities with the phone. But in terms of R&D spending, this is going to save them some money, which is also very, very good news. And guys, I just want to end the video with, please don't hate me for reporting the news. I report the good and the bad. Sometimes the bad does get people upset. I understand it, but it's worthy to know and understand understand the fact that I'm not the one causing the bad news, all right? Just keep that in mind. But this is, of course, very good news to be excited about. They're earning money, they're focusing on margin, and the future is looking very bright for NIO. All right, as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.